Both these teams flying high coming into this game. Tim Lambright going up and getting the football.
No matter what part of the field they're on, they can break a key play.
Anthony Francis down the sideline. He's going to go in for a score. Big pickup there for Angelo Blake. He just picks up those big chunks of yardage each time he carries the ball.
Boston seems to be a little sharp out in this game. There's just no substitute for straight-out speed. We've seen some amazing games, but that was
one of the best we've seen in a long time. Hey, hello, everybody. Welcome to O'Brien High School in Roxbury. As it's week one of the 2018 Boston Public High School football season. Tonight, we bring you the Boston Latin Wolfpack as they take on the O'Brien Tigers. Hello, everybody. I'm Pat Flaherty, joined by my partner, as always, Alan Platt. Alan, it's week one of the high school football
season.
Hard
to believe, huh?
It's amazing that it's the fall already. Everybody's ready to go. They just started school yesterday, and it's been hot as heck all week, but it's cooled down a little bit tonight. This should be a nice night for football.
I guess Mother Nature figured, well, they are going to play football, so let me give it a little break. This is great football weather right now.
No question.
I mean, like you said, earlier in the week, it was 90, over 90, crazy humidity.
Right.
The humidity the kids don't mind, but that heat could get to you. So we're in the 70s today. We should have a good start for these players.
No question. Now we talk about the O'Brien Tigers first. They're the home team, and one player who had a great year last year and who should have another good one this season is Anthony Francis. He's one of the players we're looking at tonight, wide receiver for the Tigers.
Oh, Anthony, good size, excellent speed, about a 6-footer, around 200 pounds. As you mentioned, last season we had a chance to see him really explosive type player once he gets out in the open. And that's exactly what O'Brien's hoping he can do. Anthony's one of 11 seniors on this O'Brien team.
No question. And Anthony, 13 total touchdowns a season ago, so he's definitely one that'll be getting his hands on the football. Meanwhile, for the Boston Latin Wolfpack, a couple of guys returning from last season, but probably most importantly is their quarterback, Devin Vasquez. He's our spotlight player tonight. Very good throw of the football. Throws
the ball very well. Has a very strong arm. But also what he can do, he can run the ball, and he's got a little size. He's 6 feet, but 185 pounds, so good size and a lot of good decisions.
No question. As Vasquez now in his second season as the full-time starter at Boston Latin School. And so we'll see him throwing the football a lot tonight in Boston Latin spread offense. Looks like we're just about set to go here at O'Brien High School. O'Brien will be kicking off to start the game. So the Tigers in the all-black uniforms with the blue trim. Latin School in the white jerseys with the purple trim. Latin School fields are right around the 10-yard line. And they are
great one-on-one tackle.
Inside the 10.
There's your guy, Anthony Francis.
Anthony also a good defensive player. It comes up with the tackle. Ulysses Brenzel was the one on the return. So just about a 5-yard loss on that return from Brenzel.
I'll tell you, the teams gave us a break with the uniforms. Latin, like you said, in all white, and then O'Brien in all black. This is officially a home game for O'Brien.
Of course, O'Brien shares this field with Madison Park High School, the two teams in the same, or the two schools in the same complex. They also practice on the same field as well. On first down, carry here. It looks like Paul Curran gets it up to about the 19-yard line. So a good pickup there on first down. Goes for a first down for the Wolfpack.
Yeah, one of the things we want to get to in the open is the fact that there's a big size difference. Boston Latin has a decided size advantage in terms of the front line against the defensive line of O'Brien.
Handoff again over the right side on first down.
I think Latin's just going to stick with a lot of basic plays between tackles to use that size advantage and also the safer plays too. You know, you're not taking a lot of chances.
And there was Curran again on the carry that time. He picked up about 3, so it'll be 2nd down and 7 now for the Wolfpack. Vasquez looking down the right side of the field. He's got his big receiver Conley, but it's just out of the outstretched hands of Joe Conley.
Well, you talked about his arm in the open pad. He just zipped that out there. Didn't really have to wind up or anything, man. His size, he's listed as 6 feet by 180, a little over 180 pounds. But I remember previous seasons he was more thin. He was a little thinner. But right now he's got some girth.
No question. Boston Latin starters: Vasquez, Curran, Brenzel, Conley, and Doran for the Wolfpack. So a couple of guys last year that were injured: Conley, Doran, even Curran, they're back this season. They're trying to get it to Doran on the screen, but that time the ball was a little too far in front of him.
Yeah, tried that wide receiver screen, so it's going to bring up a 4th down for Latin. Well, it's interesting because after that first 11-yard run to start the game, they did go back to a second run, but then they tried to throw 2 passes.
So the Wolfpack will be punting the football. Looks like it's going to be Curran back to kick, back to receive.
Talk about an all-purpose guy, right? Lambright again.
We got Lambright and Francis, the 2 most dangerous players for O'Brien, back to receive. End-over-end kick as Francis fields it at the 46-yard line. Anthony Francis with a good return. Cuts it back up the middle. Francis well inside O'Brien territory. Make that Latin territory down to the 34-yard line.
Well, we said he's exciting. Like I say, this year he's actually listed at 200 pounds. I didn't think he was that big, but he must have been hitting the weights during the summer.
It's amazing. Some guys.
He's a legit 6 feet. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, some guys from their, either their sophomore to junior year or junior to senior year, they just mature, they grow, they put on the weight. And
they all keep their fingers crossed.
Right.
This might be the year for me. But the key thing is it doesn't look like he's lost any of his speed and quickness.
That's right. There you see the starters for the Tigers. It's Maffeo, the sophomore quarterback, Lambright and Pyram in the backfield, and Francis and Izabazua are the wideouts. 21-yard return for Anthony Francis.
Francis is going to be in the slot to the right of his quarterback.
Spread formation. Now it's Lambright in the backfield. And they hand off to Pyram there on 1st down, and Isaiah can't
that was
go any further.
Alex Carter for Latin up front. Smelled that out. Was able to throw the running back for a loss in the first play from scrimmage. Then you see the size. I mean, that was quickness that time from the Latin front people, but you'll be able to see as we get closer shots to the line of scrimmage the size difference we're talking about when the linemen between Latin and O'Brien.
You see Luke Maffeo, the starter, as a freshman last season. He actually came in week 2 after Amarj Alexander was injured and stayed there the whole season. Alexander came back, switched over to more of a flex position. Lambright, the man in motion. The handoff again over the right side, and again with the carry is Javon Milton. So the sophomore running back with his 2nd carry of the game. That one for positive yardage.
Yeah, a little slant action that time. Quick handoff, so didn't give Latin's defensive line that same amount of time to respond. But that still brings up a 3rd and long. That 1st down play was a killer for O'Brien.
It's going to be 3rd and 12 now for the Tigers. The ball on the 36-yard line. Maffeo looking deep down the right side for Lambright. Almost comes up with the catch, but good coverage there from Zach Doran.
Like you said, Lambright did a good job to try to time his jump. Got one hand on the ball, but good defense also.
Tim, for a short running back, can really go up and catch passes.
Yeah.
I mean, we've
seen
him.
He makes adjustments really well.
Almost like a rebounder in basketball. He really catches the ball at the high point. So after Boston Latin had to punt the football, and now it's O'Brien who's going to have to kick it away as they face a 4th and 12 from the Latin 36-yard line. Spiraling kick that's fielded. Oh, it's dropped by Boston Latin.
Oh.
We'll see who recovers it as Latin was unable to field the punt cleanly right around the 16-yard line.
But Latin did get it back. I'll tell you,
that was Duran back to receive.
That's the kind of play. Watch the ball right there. The O'Brien player actually had the first chance for it, but just couldn't corral Ted Arce. The Latin will keep it. 2nd chance from scrimmage.
Yeah, Jaden Smith did a good job there from O'Brien, coming up short of the receiver.
Good coverage, right?
And then was able to disrupt the Latin.
I think you're right. I think he took his eye off the ball. That's all it takes is a split second. It can bounce off your pads and go off your fingers.
So Boston Latin now with the football right around the 17-yard line. The handoff on first down to Curran. He's got a big hole up the
open
middle.
Field. Wow.
As he makes his way up to about the 31-yard line. So another good carry there from Paul Curran, and I believe he picked up the first down.
Yeah, Latin wants to go hurry up, no huddle here. They have a slot receiver to the left.
About a 14-yard carry there for Curran. Now on first down, they give it to Curran again. This time finds the edge. Curran towards the sideline. This might be coming back. We got a flag
first
on the
flag
play.
of the game, right?
Curran nailed the chains as well. I don't know if there was a late hit in there, but also earlier in the play, I think that was sort of in holding territory.
Well, Curran, last 2 plays, one of the seniors on this Latin team. And you're right, Pat, it is against Latin. It's going to come back.
See what our referee has to say.
Yep, holding.
That's a 10-yard penalty on the Wolfpack.
Yeah, head coach Ray Butler on the Latin sideline trying to find out who it was.
You see Ray in the purple
trying to get a number
shirt. Who's going to run laps in practice on Monday?
All you got to do is look out there and see who's hiding.
Right.
That's all. Who's trying to hide
Which
behind
player has
somebody
his
else?
head
Right,
down?
exactly.
Well, you know, if you're going to make penalties and you're a player, you maybe can be forgiven in week 1. You know, it's the players that make the penalties
or at least
in
the first
October.
half of week 1.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, later on in the season, you don't really have an excuse.
Well, what this does, it gives Vasquez a chance to loosen up that arm again because there'll be a long situation on first down.
Another nice run here for
Curry.
Boston Latin.
Wow.
As they make their way up to the 35.
Boy, that's the second time they've literally come up the middle and had a wide open field. The linebackers, I'm not sure. The linebackers, they're just committing too soon. Linebackers for O'Brien came up much too soon, and ball carrier just ran right by them.
Yeah, Ulysses Brenzel with the carry, a 15-yard pickup. Make that a 14-yard pickup for Brenzel, so 2nd and 6 now for the Wolfpack. So they erased that penalty pretty quickly on that play. They fake the handoff to Curran. Now it's Vasquez trying to get to the outside. Good form tackle by Anthony Francis.
Yeah, one-on-one play. Francis read that one correctly. But there's the possibility of run for Vasquez. You said, yeah, it's deceiving with white uniforms. It's going to make you look a little bigger anyway, but he does seem like he's bigger from last season.
Some of these quarterbacks, all these quarterbacks wear those rib pads too, so they look so much wider. Maffeo's got those as well. Now on third down, the handoff to Curran, and he is drilled at the line of scrimmage. Coming up with the form tackle for the Tigers is Michael Brooks, the sophomore.
There's Brooks, like you said, Pat, perfect play. Read it correctly. Was able to drive right through the running back. A little confusion on the Latin scene. They have the punt team come out late.
Yeah, I think they were debating on maybe going for it, but 4th and 3, that's tough to go for when you're
in your own territory.
In your own territory. And
now O'Brien's going to take a timeout.
It's surprising because I mean, they were ready for the punt return.
It looked like it, yeah.
So maybe.
Again, you know, let's not forget there's 14 sophomores on this O'Brien team. We talked about O'Brien had a lot of freshmen last year. They're all now sophomores, all 14 of them. There's like 11 seniors. It's a strange mix because they only have less than a handful of juniors.
That's
so
right.
It's just one of those weird
seniors,
combinations
a lot of
sophomores and seniors.
Tigers with an okay season last year, ended up 4-4, but not the type of season that they're used to. 2 years ago, they finished the year at 9-2, lost to Latin Academy in the sectional finals of the playoffs. So O'Brien's used to having a winning tradition here in the City League. Meanwhile, for Boston Latin last year, they had a tough time of it, just 2 wins on the season. As we mentioned, a lot of injuries, a lot of young guys had to play.
Key players also. That was the tough part.
No question. A lot of those guys are now back this season, so I think they have higher hopes this year for a better season, and if they can pick up a win here in week 1, that would certainly do wonders for their program.
Yeah, and they play in the dual county small. It's out in the suburbs, and they play against a lot of bigger teams than what you see here in the city.
So Latin again ready to punt as Lambright and Francis are back to receive. Another end-over-end kick that Francis is just going to let go, and Latin will then down it at the 32-yard line. And that's where Luke Maffeo and the Tigers will get their second offensive possession of the first quarter.
Well, we've seen them try to run. We've seen both teams try to run and pass. I think haven't actually seen the ball thrown to Francis yet. Like I say, he usually comes out in that right slot position, which makes him a running threat. They obviously could sneak him into the backfield for a couple of plays, but the key thing is try to get him the ball with some type of room to maneuver.
Tigers now on first down. They give it again inside to Javon Milton, and he's got nowhere to go with it.
Yeah, we're seeing the up front people for Boston Latin really respond pretty quickly. Both teams ideally want to run the ball between tackles, but other than a couple good plays by Latin, so there you go. You see Latin close that one down. Other than a few good runs by Latin early on, both teams defensively are waiting for those runs up the middle.
Second down and 10 now for the Tigers. Again out of the spread formation. Maffeo now facing some pressure, and he's going to have to throw it away.
That's the key of the play. The play broke down because of that defensive pressure. And also decent coverage downfield. I mean, you're right. He just threw it away, just save the loss, prevent the sack.
Almost looked like that could have been intentional grounding. I don't know if Luke got out of the pocket to get a.
Yeah, well, I think he got a break because he did have a receiver who actually took off who broke his pattern to try to get open. So I think the officials gave him a break on that.
Third and 10 now for the Tigers, who have had a tough time getting their offense going here in the first quarter. Maffeo over the middle. And the ball falls incomplete. He was looking for number 5, Juan Restrepo. So the Tigers, after 2 drives here in the first quarter, have a total of -1 yards offensively.
Well,
really been tough sledding for them so far.
Oh, definitely. Well, it started out with that big loss on the first down. The first play from scrimmage, they were throwing for a loss on running play.
So far, it's been more of a battle of field position. So Yoshi Howe now back to kick again for the Tigers.
Yeah, any kind of return right here will put Latin in really good shape.
Again, it's Zach Duran back to receive. Another high spiraling kick, and Latin's got to get away from that football as it bounces out of bounds right around the 41-yard line. So about a 40-yard punt there for the Tigers.
Oh, we've seen the Wolfpack try to go downfield with the Alma Vasquez. We've also seen them run pretty well with Curran.
You see Devin Vasquez, 5 passing TDs, 3 rushing TDs last season. That doesn't include his Thanksgiving performance where he tacked on another 3 touchdowns and led Latin to a Thanksgiving victory. Always a big win for them over Boston English, that long-standing Thanksgiving rivalry. Now on first down, it's Vasquez who's now got to run away from pressure. And Vasquez wrapped up in the backfield. Brooks with another tackle there for the Tigers.
Tell you, Michael Brooks doing a good job. Stayed with it from his linebacker spot. Didn't commit too soon. Was able to string out Vasquez and finally make the one-on-one tackle.
About a 1 yard loss on the sack by Brooks.
I mean, pretty much as expected. I mean, like you mentioned, school just started yesterday. So defense slightly ahead of the offense.
On second down, the handoff over the right side. And that's Brenzel with the carry. Makes his way up to about the 44.
We'll see you trying to cut inside and actually going for the football. It was Francis. Now this one, if depending on what they make here, they may try to go for it on fourth down if they can get if it's a fourth and short, because they are close to midfield.
Yeah, it's about a 3rd and 6 from the 44. Vasquez over the right side, getting it to Duran, and he hits it to the sideline. He's going to be very close to the marker. I think he's
he
right
ran over the
on
marker, so it's just a matter of whether he stepped out of bounds first. But that was a good second effort after he made the catch. Because the catch, he doesn't have the first down here, but he's able to stay in bounds, and you see him running right over the marker.
Yeah, I think he did get the
All
first
depends
down.
on where they spot him.
Boy, it is right. I think he's just short. I think it's going to be 4th and inches.
No, they give him the first down. Yeah.
They did give it to him.
Yeah. They were trying to repair the the marker that he ran over.
The marker that Duran took out, yeah. Those are brand new, too. I saw the Tigers coaches pulling it out of their locker room.
First game.
Still with the wrapper on it. Those will be much dirtier at the end of the season.
Well, I'll tell you that Latin, you mentioned flipping the field, and the field position right now is in the favor of Latin, even though we have no score here.
Wolfpack now on first down. The handoff to Brenzel, and again picks up a short gain on first down. As we're under a minute to go here in the first quarter.
They're trying to, like you said, play a safe offense, and then I think they're looking for a chance to fake that handoff and then go downfield with a pass.
Under 30 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Now 2nd and 7 now for Latin. And that one falls incomplete. Duran, the intended receiver. No, that's Joe Conley actually looking for the catch.
Right? Yeah. Conley's trying to use that height of his over the shorter cornerback. Little too much on this one because Conley did have a slight advantage. Good recovery by Karan Small that time because Conley had a step on him.
Boston Latin now taking a timeout here with 20 seconds left to go in the quarter. They're going to be faced with a 3rd down and about 7. And the Wolfpack hoping to try to get something going. They've had a few good offensive plays, but haven't been really
individually
right.
Nothing sustains.
String anything together.
And that's the key. That's why that pass and catch for the first down on the previous series was important because now they have a makeable 3rd and like 7, but again they're inside O'Brien territory, so you could actually call it 4-down territory.
Our sideline reporter Richard Damas has an update for us. Richard, what do you got going on down there?
Thanks, Pat and Allen. And talking about the O'Brien Tigers, we're talking about a very young team. Most of their skilled players last season were actually juniors, and to get even younger, they started a freshman quarterback every game after week 2 because of an injury to their starter in week 2 of last season. Now, Coach Gadsden, he's a little concerned about how this team might play today because, for one thing, they haven't had much time to practice, and some of that's been due to all the heat waves that we've been having recently, so Coach has been trying to keep them off the field. And with them just having started school yesterday, believe it or not, Coach is a little worried that they might be a little rusty and maybe not have the same sort of focus that you'd want from your team in week 1 of the season. Now, as for the Boston Latin School, Coach Ray's really excited about his team coming back because last season for them, they dealt with a lot of injuries, and that made the season really difficult. But, regarding injuries, they were able to, in a battle for left tackle, find a starter, and Max Morales will be starting at left tackle tonight. With that being said, Boston Latin are really excited because they've got a lot of players returning in year 3 of their system of the read option, and Coach is looking forward to a successful year. And with that, I'll send it back to you, Pat.
Thanks very much, Richard, as Curran gets the carry there on 3rd down, well short of the first down.
We saw Curran break the same play for a decent gain earlier in the first quarter, but O'Brien adjusted to it and was able to make the tackle. But it's a fourth and about 4.
And that is going to do it for the first quarter here at O'Brien High School. No score between the Wolfpack and the Tigers. Folks, we are going to head to break. When we come back, we'll see what Boston Latin does on 4th down right after this. Don't go away.
Red hat. Oops. Red shirt, blue shirt, yellow shirt. Oops. Yellow pants, red pants, green pants. Oops.
Welcome back to O'Brien High School in Roxbury for Game of the Week. We're in week 1 of our BPS High School football season. The Boston Latin Wolfpack visiting the O'Brien Tigers. No score so far here at O'Brien. Folks, if you want to follow us on social media, you can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Game of the Week Boston. A lot of great stuff up on our Facebook page, videos, updates on which games we're going to be covering. A lot of good information there. You can also go to our Twitter and follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. Just about set to start the second quarter here at O'Brien High School as the Boston Latin Wolfpack faced with about a 4th and 4 here from the O'Brien 44-yard line. And it looks like they are going to go for it. They're in O'Brien territory.
I mean, not surprised at this at all. This is a makeable 4th down play.
They've mostly gone to Curran and Brenzel to carry the football. Curran, the lone back in the backfield. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. They got Conley isolated at the bottom of your screen.
He's trying to get the field clock set back to 10 minutes.
I know the athletic coordinator for O'Brien, Dave McLeod, was the one setting up the clock earlier. I'm not sure if he's still the one running the clock.
Yeah, 10-minute quarters here in high school football, and it actually varies from conference to conference, but this is, like we mentioned earlier, dual county, city of Boston matchup.
Yeah, I think in the city they play mostly 10-minute quarters. Right. A lot of the other other leagues
they'll play 11.
Yeah. Now on 4th down, they get the catch over the left side for Boston Latin. I think that was Duran who got the catch
that was a good
in
throw.
Traffic.
Really good, nice. You gotta like what Vasquez did, because Duran like a little curl pattern, but Vasquez didn't really fire it in there. He gave him, a chance to get it before he gets hit. He knew he was going to get hit by the linebacker. A lot of times the quarterbacks will either throw it low or high, make it tougher for the receiver. But that time, Vasquez did an excellent job putting it right between the 1 and 2.
And they got the pass about a yard past the first down marker. So
yeah, I think the referee's telling the sideline that because there's some issues with the clock, the clock's going to be kept on the field. Which, I mean, the official time's always in the field anyway, but I think that it can be deceiving to the spectators or anybody else.
And to the,
when
into the sidelines,
right.
too,
exactly.
the coaches and players as well.
So in that case, the linesman who'll keep the time, he'll yell it out to the coaches once in a while during the quarter.
Now on 1st down, the handoff to Curran, and that time he runs into a wall at the line of scrimmage. Might have picked up a yard.
Well, again, we're seeing a lot of individual plays made by both teams on defense. That time it was Grell, a homie Grell, right there, 55, and then his teammates came along to help him out.
Debbie Rappa also in there on the stop for the Tigers. On second down, Vasquez looking for Conley. This time he gets the big receiver. And
Well,
Conley
we
makes
know
his way.
coming into the game, we know Conley's one of the main targets for Vasquez, and Vasquez was feeling pretty comfortable because Conley that time, nice little slant. You like the yards after the catch too. Conley with good size.
Yeah, they'll mark him down at the 21. Yeah, Conley about 6'2".
Yeah, 185.
Coach Butler mentioned big strides that Conley has made in camp. Now they're looking for Conley in the back of the end zone, and it just falls incomplete.
Oh, Conley wants to be, I'm sure he's going to run back and say, call that play again, please, please call it again.
Conley had a step on the defensive back. Let's get another look at it.
As you mentioned, he has the step, and the ball is right on his fingertips.
He might have that if he lays out for it.
Well, the thing about it is, sometimes kids won't lay out because if they're that close to the end line, they'll think that if they lay out,
They
they're
can't
going to
toe
come
tap.
down. Right, they come down the end zone. But I think he probably wanted to just try to catch that straight.
So second down and 10 now for Boston Latin from the 21-yard line. Vasquez now running away from
Got some
pressure,
room.
and
Yeah.
Devin's going to tiptoe out of bounds right around the 17, looked like.
Yeah, made something out of nothing. All his receivers recovered. So that opened up a little bit of running room. He's looking downfield the whole time, but he knows he can get a nice 5 or 6 yard gain. Take that to make third down very manageable.
About a 4-yard pickup there on second down, so 3rd and 6 now for the Wolfpack. Vasquez again got a roll to his right, looking in the back of the end zone, and the ball is broken up. Lambright was there for the interception. It was actually broken up by the tight end, Anthony
That's
Dadish.
a good defense. Also a holding penalty on Latin, but I'm sure we'll have O'Brien. Well, actually, not sure because they're so close. They might decide to bring it back, or
Looks like they denied the penalty.
they're going to decline it. Right. Watch Lambright again. You talked about his defense. Not much height for Lambright, but he's able to recover and use that quickness to get into the air, knock it down because the receiver for Latin again, a little behind him. Anthony Dadish was a little behind Lambright, but Lambright was able to recover to get his hands on it.
Dadish, another pretty good-sized target for Vasquez. He was a sophomore starting at tight end last season. Now a junior. Vasquez over the right
4th and
side
4.
of Duran. And he got the block.
Oh, gets
Duran
away.
escapes one tackler. Makes his way inside the 10-yard line. So a big play there for Boston Latin. It sets him up 1st and goal.
Yeah, that's going back to that third down penalty. It's a tough decision, but I guess here's the screen pass. See, that's the play right there. See, if they tackle him right there, it wouldn't have been a first down, but give him credit. Did a good job to sort of wiggle away and then tack on that important yardage.
Yeah, that is a tough call on that penalty because you know your defense
Take
has
it
been
back.
playing
Yeah,
well.
that's what I was going to say. But you
You got to make one stop or make two.
and you give So you go with the percentages.
1st and goal now for Boston Latin. They hand it off to Brenzel. Escapes one tackler, still fighting for yardage, and makes his way inside the 5-yard line.
Wow. Interesting mix of run and pass in this whole series here. Like you said, good job to avoid a loss. Gets himself closer to the end zone. Yeah, Latin school this year really hoping for a true balanced attack. You got the good arm with Vasquez. You got some runners.
And they've mixed it up well so far here in the first half. Now 2nd and goal for Boston Latin. It's Vasquez on the keeper, and he lost yardage as he's wrapped up in the backfield.
Tried to fool the O'Brien defense on that one.
Marcus Smalls getting in there for the stop.
That was a good job. Stay in your area. Don't overcommit. Marquise did a good job to read the fact that Vasquez kept the ball.
Yoshi Howe also in there to clean it up. So it'll be 3rd and goal now for the Wolfpack from about the 8-yard line.
Yeah, Wolfpack's had success with
At the
these
7.
wide receiver screens. They got the first down on that type of play. Then, of course, you also have Conley, who's split wide left.
They give it to Brenzel, and he fights his way upfield to about the 4.
It's a good effort by the O'Brien defense here because they get their backs against the wall. Brenzel, a nice cut, but the defense again is able to shut it down. Short game.
Boston Latin now faced with a 4th and goal from about the 5-yard line. We'll see if they can punch it in, or we'll see if the Tigers can make the stop. Vasquez to the outside. Touchdown, Wolfpack. Zach Duran on the reception.
Well, we talked about the arm of Vasquez. We've seen it. We saw it in this drive because he made a very important first down throw here around midfield to start the drive, and here he finishes it off.
Vasquez leading Duran to the pylon now. Let's get another look at it.
Again, Duran, one of the seniors on this Latin team, ran a good pattern, split the defenders, and just watched the football all the way into his arms. Easy touchdown.
So Latin now looking for the 2-point conversion. They run the Wildcat here as it's Roy Thompson trying to make his way in, but he does get in for the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, that last dive by Thompson got him in. So Latin, and again, Pat, we knew coming in that because they had the players watch this Wildcat conversion. It's before he goes down, just that little bit of a dive to get in.
Yeah, it was a nice tough run.
We knew that Latin. Then the coach Ray Butler had a very frustrating season last year, losing through injury a lot of their key players, both on the line, skilled players, and on both sides of the ball, to offense and defense. This year, you get those younger players, those players back healthy. And now I think this is the first time we'll be able to see what they really want to do. Nice mix of pass and run. We see him go deep downfield with the ball. We see him go to Conley like 3 different times. The wide receiver screen works. We even saw the Vasquez, the quarterback, run a couple of times.
Yeah, it just seems like Latin's got more options offensively
at this
so
point.
far
Definitely
at the
more.
start of the
You're
season.
Right. And that's going to be key because O'Brien has some speed and has some good quality players, but they've got to figure out a way to create some open fields. That ball's live.
Yeah, that trickles out of bounds, so that's going to be an illegal procedure on Boston Latin. It goes out right around the 30, so I think O'Brien can take it at the 35, or they can ask him to re-kick.
Yeah, they're going to make him go.
I think they're going to have him re-kick it.
Yeah.
Talk about that last drive for Boston Latin. Vasquez was 4 for 6 for 36 yards.
Well, again, in a situation like that, if Kevin Gadsden's down there trying to figure out the best decision, he is, like you said, Pat. You're right. You want to make him re-kick it because they want to give O'Brien's speed guys a chance to get a ball with some open field. They just haven't had it happen at all so far this game.
This time,
this is exactly what they wanted.
Fielded cleanly at the 25 and a good return for O'Brien.
Return.
Still on his feet for O'Brien to the outside. That's Jovan Milton to the outside. He gets his way past midfield, up to the 38-yard line, looks like.
Jovan Milton. That's why Kevin Gadsden chose to have forced Latin to re-kick it again. Sophomore. Jovan Milton, watch him, gives a little ground here, which you don't really like to see, but he has the kind of speed and quickness to make up for it. Gets all the way around to in front of the Latin sideline, and excellent return, nice fit way to finish it off. Puts his team in an excellent position. This is their best start from scrimmage of the game. Again, that's one of the sophomores we talked about.
It's something that the Tigers desperately needed, as you mentioned. Not much going offensively. We'll see if that gives them a spark.
Well, this is the kind you heard the crowd during that return, starting to feel like a home field, right?
Maffeo Down the left side for Lambright.
nice
Good adjustment by
what an
Lambright,
adjustment.
who was in for a touchdown.
Well, that was an excellent adjustment by Lambright. He actually made the play because the ball was underthrown.
Timmy Lambright with another big play for the Tigers, this time a 38-yard score.
Well, they answered your question. Is this going to give him a spark, right? With young players, that's what it takes, a big play oftentimes. And see, watch this. A little too much air under it because it's a little underthrown. But Lambright actually cut inside both his corner and the safety to make the adjustments for the football.
So now the Tigers will try to match Latin and try to get the 2-point conversion.
Got one-on-one with Francis.
Maffeo going to the back of the end zone. Was
Did
it
he catch
caught? It was not.
Oh,
He actually had
dropped it.
two players
Right.
going for it, and Francis ended up with it, and he was well out of bounds. Looked like he had Jaden Smith also going for the ball as well, and Smith had a little bit of better chance to keep it in bounds.
He was trying for the one-hand catch, couldn't quite bring it down. And by the time his teammate got it, he's out of bounds. But talk about some excitement. Here's the one-hand try, but then Francis is already out of bounds by the time he gets it.
So after a scoreless first quarter, both teams come away with touchdowns here in the second quarter. O'Brien unable to finish the 2-point conversion, so Latin still on top by 2. And they will get the football back with about 3.5 minutes left to go before halftime. But both teams waking up offensively.
I was just going to say that I think they're starting to feel like, okay, this is the real season now.
Okay, the season has started. You see Brenzel back to receive for the Wolfpack. And Yoshi Howe back to kick for O'Brien as they're trying to get.
That was a really nice adjustment on that catch by Lambright. That was.
He's one of those players that, I mean, he's built like a running back, but he's such a good receiver.
Right.
They just move him all over the field.
Very versatile. Yeah.
Latin fields it right around the 18-yard line as that's Thompson cutting it to the outside. Thompson now the good return, and he's drilled at the 47, but a good return for Latin as they will take over right around
All right,
or close to midfield.
Both teams are picking up, getting the ball to their skill guys. Watch it right here. Does a good job to get outside. Breaks the coverage, and he did get drilled. That was close. He was still in bounds when he got hit, so no penalty on the play.
Yeah, that was Yoshi Howe, the kicker / offensive and defensive lineman for Latin, coming up with a stop. They're going to mark Thompson down at the 46, but a good return nonetheless. Now on first down, the handoff to Curran, and he's going to pick up maybe a yard. I thought he was going to get wrapped up in the backfield. Good job getting penetration that time from Omi Grell.
Yeah, Grell. Got some help also from Michael Brooks. Watch Grell. Yeah, first one there, then Brooks comes in.
Pretty good crowd on hand here tonight for the home team O'Brien
Opener,
Tigers.
right? Yeah.
Boston Latin also always brings a good crowd. Pass over the middle, looking for Conley, but it's broken up by Jaden Smith.
Good job by Smith.
Some of these young.
It's interesting. Latin's moving Curran around so much that he's seeing different guys in coverage. That time Smith was able to close without a penalty, knock the ball away. But clearly, Curran's the main target for Vasquez.
Now a 3rd and 9 for the Wolfpack. Vasquez over the middle, and it's almost intercepted.
The inside
big
screen.
fella.
He's getting blocked. Pierre-Louis was getting blocked, but hey, he had the best chance to actually catch the ball. Didn't realize it. Now watch how surprised he is. Right there. He's looking around. Oh, that's the ball. he was getting double team blocked, and the ball hit his arm.
Yeah, it looked like Latin was looking for Jake Leonardo on the screen pass.
That inside middle screen, there are a lot of high school teams. We've seen a lot of teams use it. Brighton uses it well. East Boston uses it well. And that's the first time we saw Latin try it.
So Latin will have to punt the football again.
High
snap. We'll see if Curran can.
He's going to try to run
He's going to try to pick up the first down. And now he reverses field. And Curran is going to get wrapped up right around the 9-yard line. They're going to mark him down at the 40.
I'd say I think he panicked a little bit on that one because he still had time to
he could have
create a punt.
Could have rolled right maybe.
Right. Rolled right, and he still had a chance to kick it. See, I think he just lost track of how far back he was.
Another tackle for Michael Brooks. That's his third tackle for a loss here in the first half.
So O'Brien, this is about the similar spot to where they threw that touchdown pass to Lambright. Clock management, and also with those speedy receivers, a chance to get a second score before halftime.
O'Brien at the Boston Latin 40. They tried the draw, and it's sniffed out by the Latin defense.
They tried to fake it to Lambright first, and then, I tell you, Javon Milton just got swallowed up.
And Alex Carter, the nose tackle, in there on the stop.
Fake the ball to Lambright, and Alex read that the entire way.
Yeah, Zeke Kransdorf also in there. Sorry, make that Johan Stavery with the stop. Now it's Lambright getting corralled again in the backfield and nowhere to go again for the Tigers.
Yeah, same formation, the same motion action by Lambright. That time he did get the handoff, but just didn't have any room. So now Latin, I believe, wants a timeout. They want to save some time. No, I guess not. No, just calling a play.
Clock continues to wind down. About a minute and a half left to go before halftime. Official time down on the field. Maffeo gets a rush. They got the screen over the left side.
Right.
And this time it looks like it's Milton with the catch. He's going to be short of the first down right around the 34.
He made a nice play on that. Another one-handed catch. They're able to pull it in and see, good fingertips.
I don't know how Maffeo got that off. He got drilled in the backfield.
So, we get a 4th and what? 4th and 4?
It will be a 4th and 4 for the Tigers from the Latin 34-yard line. So we'll see if they can get to the 30 for a first down. Clock continues to wind down. They're going to have to start calling some timeouts if they get this 4th down. And somebody jumped. We'll see who it is.
A lot of movement. Actually, on both sides. He had a linebacker blitzing for Latin. That was Datis.
Looks like it's going to be offsides on Boston Latin. That'll be a first down.
I think it was Datis because he was trying to come on a blitz. Well, now they're going to talk about it because on the other side of the field, they may have a penalty on O'Brien, so it may be offsetting penalties here.
Multiple penalties.
All right, so
we have an illegal formation and also an offsides penalty.
Yeah. So they'll
those will offset and they'll replay the 4th down. So it'll be 4th and 4 again from the 34-yard line. That really hurts the Tigers because you just wasted all that time off the clock.
I think the same thing.
You're still going to run the same play.
Yeah.
So it looked like Maffeo was going to have it on the quarterback keeper on the last play. We'll see what they do here. As you got Lambright at the top of your screen, trips to the bottom. Maffeo over the middle. It's up for grabs, and it's Lambright again with the catch. And again, he's in for a touchdown. Another great adjustment by the senior tailback.
He's like a magician. I mean, like you said, he was wide right. There was one-on-one coverage, but that was good coverage. It was actually decent coverage by Thompson. Lambright, again, just made an adjustment on a ball that was floated up there by Mateo. So he just floats it up there, giving Lambright a chance to come under it. He's able to get away from Thompson, jukes the safety man, and with the speed he has, that's an easy touchdown. I tell you, two spectacular plays by Lambright in the passing game for O'Brien.
Tigers now looking for the two-point conversion. Maffeo over the middle. It's picked off.
Interception.
Latin can bring it back for 2 points, but Brenzel is wrapped up that time by Milton. And I believe that is going to do it for the first half. We'll see if they do end the half out on the field. We don't know just yet as they are keeping time.
The referees are down on the field. Right. You see the play by Brenzel to thwart that two-point conversion attempt.
I think there is still some time left on the clock as Latin goes back out to receive the kick. But the Tigers once again with a great reception from Tim Lambright. First one was the 38-yard touchdown. Second one was the 34-yard touchdown. And now the Tigers on top 12-8 over the Boston Latin Wolfpack.
For a young team, it's good to take advantage of the miscue from Latin when they had the punt formation and the puncher, with the high snap, instead of trying to still kick it, tried to run, gave excellent field position to O'Brien, which they took, full advantage of.
Again, we don't know how much time's left on the clock. As O'Brien
there's going to be a penalty.
Kicks it out of bounds, so that'll be a illegal procedure penalty.
I think the officials were saying there's one more play. So I don't know if.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's just one more play. I'm wondering if Latin might want to just take it.
That's what I was thinking.
Take the ball,
just throw the ball, throw it downfield.
Try a Hail Mary, right? But if you're Latin at the same time, maybe you'll have a better chance at a good kick return.
Well, they got a decent return already earlier in the game from Thompson. He's back in to receive.
Yeah, both Thompson and Brenzel back to receive deep for the Wolfpack. Yoshi this time. And it's fielded by Brenzel at the 34. We'll see if Latin has any time. It looks like they're going to have some time left here in the first half.
Okay, there was time left.
So if Latin had just taken the penalty, they'd have the football at pretty much the same spot they have it right now.
Oh, it's one of those things. You just never know. I mean,
sure.
You do have some faith in your special teams guys, and both teams actually do have good returners.
And neither team has a kicker that can really boom it down the field, so you're going to get decent field position pretty much each time you receive a kick. So now the Wolfpack with not too much time left here in the second quarter. They get it out to Conley. Conley down the sideline. He's tripped up right around the 34-yard line.
I'm not sure why he was single covered on that, but Conley took full advantage. Beat the cornerback and was able to tack on a huge gain before the safety Lambright can come over and shoulder him out of bounds. Actually, he didn't go out of bounds. The clock's still running, but Latin took a timeout.
So
Oh,
Wolfpack
yeah,
taking
they
time
caught
out.
O'Brien in a bad coverage.
Now you got Latin out there who's ready to go, and O'Brien's using this timeout.
Latin called the timeout, but they're going into their full passing game now. I mean, right before halftime, 30-yard pickup on that one. We talked about the big fella Conley being the main target, but they have some other targets because the touchdown went to Duran, and they've also tried some other receivers. So Vasquez actually has an arsenal of guys to go to.
Sure.
It's just a matter of whether O'Brien can, guess right as they're trying to cover all these receivers.
Conley with that last play picked up 30 yards to get to
that catch and run's huge. See now O'Brien is now taking a timeout because I'm sure the defensive coaches are trying to get the guys into a better coverage situation. Again, in Massachusetts high school football, you get 5 timeouts a half. And in this situation, you're using them because you need them. I mean, O'Brien did get burned on that 30-yard pass and run, catch and run, and so now they want to make sure that the same thing doesn't happen again. I'll tell you, the second quarter's been a fun game. I mean,
Absolutely.
First quarter, you got a little jitters,
Sure. Offenses are working the
just
kinks
getting
out.
exactly right. Defense being just effort that kept it 0-0, but then, now we've seen three touchdowns here in the second quarter.
So Boston Latin trying to answer that last touchdown from O'Brien. Tim Lambright now with 2 receiving touchdowns on the evening. 2 catches for 72 yards.
And both of them, they were decent coverage. I mean, it's not like he was open. The first one was
short.
Exactly. The first one was a really nice adjustment. But again, a senior can do that. And then the second one, he just beat some decent coverage.
So here we go, Boston Latin. Late here in the second quarter, Vasquez is going to be wrapped up and sacked, and I think that might do it. 14-yard loss.
They called a timeout. They called a timeout as soon as he was tackled. So I think you're right. We're talking about seconds left, but Latin wants to get every play possible. That time coming from the right side.
The second sack for the Tigers so far this evening. 14-yard loss on the play, so it'll be second down and 24 for Boston Latin. Again, we don't know how much time is left here in the second quarter. And as time is being kept down on the field by the referees. Vasquez this time with protection, gets it to the sideline to Duran, and he goes out of bounds.
Yeah, I think they're gonna put one up deep to Conley or Duran.
I'm guessing there's just a couple of seconds left because
catch it and run right out of bounds, right?
Latin's just kind of they just tried to get a little bit closer on that pass to now try to heave one up. Conley right now, solo coverage at the bottom of your screen, and now I think it's O'Brien that wants a timeout.
Yeah, the defensive coach is yelling at 2 of his defenders. They were in the wrong spots.
One thing for the Tigers, you got Tim Lambright back there at free safety.
Deep safety. All he does, he plays like center field.
Right.
With his speed, as soon as the ball's thrown, he just shoots over there. Matter of fact, he saved. I mean, Conley potentially may have had a touchdown on that pass and run.
Oh yeah, earlier.
If Lambright didn't have the speed to get over there and knock him down.
So Duran making his 5th reception here in the first half. It's been him and Conley catching passes for Vasquez so far here in the first half for the Wolfpack. Meanwhile, for the Tigers, it's just been those 2 plays from Lambright, really, and a couple of nice special teams returns. I take that back. Milton had that nice one-handed catch out of the backfield.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
To keep
that
the drive
was
going.
that screen pass to keep the drive going.
But it's really been those 3 plays offensively for the Tigers. Vasquez over the right side of Duran again to the sideline. Duran now trying to cut it back upfield. There must not be any time left, because he did not try to get to the sideline immediately. Looks like there's still some time left on the clock.
I think we have a case if we just lost our clock operator, because they've had 4 plays since the kickoff. Good job by Jerron. He made something, added another 6 yards to that. But like you said, it's all about getting close enough to give Vasquez a chance to, airmail it into the end zone.
Now you got Conley at the top of your screen, Duran in the slot.
Trying Conley.
Looking for Conley, back of the end zone, broken up by Anthony Francis.
Okay, that was good. That was good coverage there.
He was right on him.
That's the one they've been looking for. Here's Conley, Francis, step by step. Surprised Duran was actually in the area, because it brought another defender over there. We talked in the open about the versatility of Francis. That's a good example of it, because Conley, who had beaten a different defender earlier in the half, that time straight one-on-one with Francis, and there was just a foot race.
So now 4th down for Boston Latin.
All right, Bryant has the ball now. That was a 4th down pass.
Okay, so they have the yard marker.
Right, yeah, this
incorrect. So it is now O'Brien Tiger ball here on first. And you got to think they're just going to kneel on it with just a couple of seconds
with
left.
Lambright, I don't know.
That's true.
Well, you're right. You're right.
Even a broken clock's right twice a day.
That's the one you think about. Well, if I throw it up there and it gets picked off, then what?
Those last couple of passes have been short, so we'll go in with the halftime lead. So Bryant on top at the half, 12-8 over the Boston Latin Wolfpack. And
a fun second quarter.
It really was. I mean, the first quarter, not a lot of scoring going on.
Well, it's good defense, though. A lot of good defense on both sides. But I like the fact that both these quarterbacks can put the ball downfield. And this second half should be a lot of fun. Excellent conditions, no rain. The heat went away. We're in the 70s. The guys, as long as they stay hydrated, they'll run all day.
No question. No wind, too, so they can throw the football around. So it really has been an entertaining first half. As we mentioned, first quarter, no score. Teams seemed like they need to work the kinks out a little bit, but man, Tim Lambright has already made the 2 best plays of the day with those 2 catches.
And that's as a senior, we talked about the fact that there's 11 seniors, there's 14 sophomores on this O'Brien team. So that's exactly what head coach Kevin Gatson wants to see out of one of his seniors, because then the message gets to the sophomores. Look, this is what we need for you this season and going into next year.
That's right. Now, meanwhile, for Boston Latin, they've been moving the ball pretty good. I mean, they've had plays where they've moved all the way down the field.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating. Ray Butler, it's on that sideline, you've got to be frustrated. They had the bad situation with the snap of the punt that gave O'Brien the excellent position for that second touchdown.
Right.
Even before the first touchdown, there was a 4th and a very makeable 4th and 3. Miscue, gave the ball back to O'Brien. So you clean up some of that, and I think Latin will feel a lot better about going back to their basic offense.
No question. So we'll see what kind of adjustments these 2 teams can make here at the half. The head coach of the Latin Wolfpack, Ray Butler, is down on the field with our sideline reporter, Richard Damas. Richard, take it away.
Thanks, Pat. Hey, Coach Butler. So you got up to an early lead, but on the last 2 drives that they had near the end of the half, they scored 2 touchdowns on 2 deep passes. What happened on those 2 plays?
They got really good athletes, and they saw something on the staff they could take advantage of. So when good athletes have good coaching, they make big plays.
And I see, you guys are trying to definitely run through the whole playbook as you guys are trying to open up the offense like you were saying pregame. What can we expect to see from your team in the second half?
Hopefully more first downs and touchdowns and a lot of stops on defense.
All right. Good luck with the second half, Coach, and thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And with that, Pat, that'll be back to you.
Thanks very much, Richard. I'm sure Coach Butler probably happy with some of the offensive execution, but then on the other side, they only have 1 touchdown. And it seems like they've been working a lot harder than just the 1 touchdown.
Well, like you said, they actually had more drives into O'Brien territory, and they came away with nothing.
That's right.
They scored the first touchdown of the game, but since then, it's been the Lambright show from O'Brien, and that's why the Tigers have had the lead right now.
Absolutely. So the O'Brien Tigers on top by 4 here, 12-8 at the half at O'Brien High School, folks. We're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll get you that halftime stats, a couple of highlights, and then we'll be ready for the third quarter here in Roxbury right after these words. Don't go away.
Foster safety. Foster hope. Foster joy. Foster curiosity. Foster support. Become a foster parent, because every parent makes a difference. Foster, Massachusetts.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck.
So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
First time I tried Vicodin, it was laying around my mom's house. And then I kept taking them whenever I could get them. I didn't know they'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Do you want to retire like a champ? Just like legendary basketball star Uncle Drew?
Don't do him like that, Uncle Drew!
You're already acing the game. You've got your dream ride.
Don't be slamming my door.
Sorry about that.
You just did the same.
Gotta get the boys. Your dream vacation and your dream team. And now you can make your retirement just as legendary.
I get buckets.
Get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Queen is just my everything.
His smile did it. His smile, his eyes, his knowledge. My landlord, he decided that he wanted me to move based on the fact that I was transgender. Let's just respect people in everyday life for just being human.
No doubt you're going places, young lady.
Thank you. And thank you for the interview as well. I can imagine it was the last thing that you wanted to do after such a long campaign meeting.
You really are a very intelligent young woman. You're very smooth.
You're very smooth yourself.
You have no idea.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No. He's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation.
We can.
Get someone a cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates.
Our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can.
Intervene.
It's on us. All of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education? What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else? Or will you dare do something different? Like be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills.
The smarts?
Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Welcome back to O'Brien High School in Roxbury for our week one coverage of the 2018 Boston Public High School football season. The Boston Latin Wolfpack trail the O'Brien Tigers 12-8. Here we're just about ready to start the third quarter as the Wolfpack will be kicking off as they try for a swim and onside kick. And now we have a whistle to start the second half. And nobody was on the chains.
Yeah, that's
week one for the chains guys, too.
Can't start without them. I mean, you could, but it'd be quite confusing.
Right.
I'm telling you, with no sticks.
It's amazing how a very simple piece of equipment
It's
pretty
so
much
important.
controls the
That's
whole
right.
football
Yeah.
game. And this time a squib kick over the left side, and it's Brooks returning it for the O'Brien Tigers. He makes his way up to the 49-yard line. So
good job, because a lot of times coaches just say, listen, just jump on the ball so we keep possession. But like you said, Brooks did a good job of keep his composure, got a good grip on it, That's a decent return with nobody in front of him.
Yeah, we saw O'Brien with a couple of good returns earlier in the first half. So I'm sure the Wolfpack coaching staff a little concerned about their kick coverage
and also their passing coverage. Now, Thompson's in there now as one of the cornerbacks covering Jaden Smith.
And now Boston Latin is going to have to call a timeout as they're a little confused.
They
on
definitely made
defense.
some changes on the defense, but again, similar to O'Brien in the first half, guys in the wrong spots.
Let's take a look at the halftime stats before we continue here in the third quarter. First for Boston Latin, and there you see pretty spread around.
Yeah, Curran started out pretty well, 6 for 32. You got Brinzel, 5 for 27. Like you said before, that's 60-something yards between the two of them. Duran with 39 yards on 6 receptions. Conley, 46 yards on a couple of receptions. Vasquez, 85 yards and a touchdown, 7 for 16 seems impressive, but he has the ability to do a lot more than that in the first half.
You see the O'Brien stats.
Yeah, Milton, tough time. He get thrown for loss a couple of times. Lambert, nothing much from scrimmage at all, running the ball. But Lambert with the 2 touchdowns, 72 yards total. I tell you, he's really put on a show. And also Milton had that one 10-yard catch. Maffeo, 3 for 6, 72 yards, and the 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, Boston Latin with 150 total yards there in the first half.
That's what you were talking about, how they were going up and down the field. Just didn't have a lot to show for it.
They try the sweep now with Lambright, who shakes a couple of defenders, but he's strung out of bounds. Yeah. Nice tackle there from Brenzel, just a short pickup.
Yeah, Latin, good pursuit, took the angle away from Lambright. Even with that speed, football and from sideline to sideline is all about angles. There's the sweep, like you said, but the left side of your screen, by them able to push him back in the backfield, the Latin Wolfpack kids could come on the angle and keep it from getting a big gain.
Now we got an injury down on the field. Looks like Jaden Smith has looked to be an ankle injury.
Block downfield and grabbing that left leg area.
It's like Smith's he's going to need some help. He looks like some kind of ankle injury there. Smith's had a couple of nice plays so far in this game, both on special teams and offensively. Another one of those sophomores.
Yeah, and coaches hate. I mean, any player, first game of the season. I mean, be attended to by the trainer. Actually, it might just be a cramp. It looks like they're trying to get some fluid into him.
Could be. Some of the times the young players don't realize it's not about, staying hydrated the day of the game. You should be doing it all week long.
Exactly.
Especially with how hot it's been here in the city over the past couple of weeks. Now on second down, they run the sweep over the right side with Milton, and he finds the edge. But is wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage, so no gain on second down for the Tigers.
Yes, it's been tough for the running game of O'Brien. So you see that Conley playing defensive end, strings him out, can't make the tackle, but keeps him occupied long enough to have some other Wolfpack players make the stop. It's got to be frustrating for O'Brien because they have these players with the speed and quickness, but their offensive scheme has not been able to give them any open field, other than the passes downfield to Lambright.
Third and 8 now for the Tigers. Maffeo finds Francis for the first time, and it's a first down for O'Brien.
Again, good patience. Doesn't fail. Like you said, you mentioned it earlier, he's been getting hit pretty much on every pass attempt. He took a hit there, but delivered the ball first. Luke Maffeo again, one of the sophomores we talked about earlier.
Now on first down, it's Maffeo. This time under duress, he throws it behind his receiver, and it's almost picked off.
Yeah, they got
Will Marchie with a chance on it.
I tell you, they had Latin that time. Dadish had him.
And our sideline reporter, Richard Damas, has an update for us. Richard, what's happening?
Hey, Pat. That was Jaden Smith who was just carried off the field just a minute ago. It was funny because talking to the coaches, they were actually all laughing on the sidelines. See, the thing is, it turns out Jaden Smith's injury was just cramps, and they were saying he just needs a little bit of water. And as you can see, he's now back on the field. And with that, I'll send it back to you, Pat.
Thanks very much, Richard. Just when we thought Smith, who came off the field a few plays ago, just some cramps, is now back on the field for the Tigers.
The magic of youth, right?
Yeah. Or at least ready to get back on the field. He's running around on the sideline right now.
Waiting for the permission to jump in. Tell you, O'Brien, the tough part is O'Brien, because they can't run the ball, they're being forced to throw it, and Maffeo, he's been taking some hits. I mean, even when they're incomplete passes, this rush for the Wolfpack is putting a lot of pressure on, even though O'Brien has decent field position. I mean, we've seen Dadish blitz from that linebacker spot. Well, actually, it's more of like a defensive end, I guess. He's been the one putting a lot of pressure.
Now on third down, it's Milton again with a nice cut. Past the 25 up to about the 21-yard line.
Yeah, I think Latin that time got caught thinking pass. And nice little 16-yard pickup right here is Milton. Again, there's that speed we talked about, and you get some room to get a head of steam up, then you can make something happen.
Now that was close to the Latin sideline. If you saw Milton, that's a sophomore, you can tell because the football was way out
there.
Here.
Right. Well,
if you're Latin, you've got to be saying, okay, now we know this young guy exposes the ball. They could be swiping at him. Now on first down, they hand it off to Milton again. And that time they punch it out, and Latin recovers at the 15.
Hey, it's time for you to go to a casino, Pat.
I know.
Because you just called, what's that, 30 seconds later?
I am beelining to Foxwoods after this game.
I'm telling you, that was, you talking about perfect timing. That's exactly what happened.
That's a nice play by
Because the
Curran.
ball was away from his chest. All you got to do is swipe at it, there it goes. But again, like you said, give Latin players credit because they probably, someone in that huddle must have mentioned that to them. At least let's swipe at it, while we're tackling. That's exactly what happened. Little things in football can change, and then that was a nice drive by O'Brien inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah, that was their first really strung together drive so far. And now Curran drilled at the line of scrimmage, might have even lost a yard. I think it's going to be no gain on first down there for Paul Curran.
Who was tackled by? A very angry Milton. Watch number 1. Comes across. He said, you got to make me fumble. Latins had more success with their running game from scrimmage, but O'Brien overall has played well defensively.
They get it to Conley on the slant, and Conley wrapped up at the 31. So a 16-yard connection there from Vasquez to Conley.
Quick slant pass in front of the safety, behind the linebacker, and Conley. Second time we've seen him really tack on a nice gain after the catch.
Hand it off inside to Brenzel. And might have picked up 2. They're going to call it a 1-yard pickup there on first down for
It looks like O'Brien has actually gone to a defense. You see Brenzel, you mentioned the second effort, getting that short game, but O'Brien's actually going man coverage on passes so they can have more bodies to try to stop this running game from Latin.
2nd down and 8 now for the Wolfpack. Bubble screen out to the left. And O'Brien's all over it.
Good job, wow.
Looking for
Machi had no place to go on that one. It's a well-designed play. They actually had some success with that. They called it once in the first half and got decent yards, but that time the O'Brien defense, the whole right side closed it down quick.
I don't see Zach Duran out there, and I'm wondering if he got banged up on one of these plays because he was one of the better players in the first half for Latin. Meanwhile, Vasquez down the sideline and a little too far out of bounds.
I think you're seeing a very frustrated Conley. He was forced to look back into that sunlight, and I'm sure he just lost track of the ball. You watch while he's going down. You'll see the sun, the brightness will be right in his helmet. For some reason, they love that left sideline, though.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they went back to that left sideline.
We're going to see that a lot
next time.
Believe me.
Kern again back to kick. Again, a bad snap, and Kern's just got to hang on to it. Second time in this game that has plagued the Wolfpack.
First bad one was too high. This one is too low. These are killers here.
It often happens with the younger guys too. They sort of, they make a mistake, so they overcompensate the other way. Yoshi Howe with a tackle. He's now got 5 tackles on the evening.
Okay, so Bryant has a chance to really take control of this game if they can score a touchdown here.
Bryant with the football at the 14-yard line of Boston Latin. After the botched snap on the punt, and on first down, Milton has nowhere to go.
And guess who had 2 arms on the ball? I mean, he was going to the middle this time, but still, look at that, 2 arms on the ball. I mean, a lot of coaches take a kid out after a fumble like that.
I was going to say, I'm surprised he's getting the carry.
Right.
Johan
you want to reestablish the confidence in him because he is only a sophomore. But,
he's played well, too. It is funny how there is just a mix of sophomores and seniors on this Tigers team.
There's only a couple of juniors.
Trips to the left now for O'Brien on 2nd down and 10. Make it 11. Nice pass over the right side to Francis, who's in for a touchdown.
I mean, we spotlighted him at the beginning of the game, Pat, and you made a good choice because he's been more effective, actually, on defense in this particular game, but that's his value. Comes out of that slot position. Good throw by Mateo, too. Look at that. Right on the money.
Second catch of the third quarter for Anthony Francis. Here's another look at it.
Really good job. Just beats the line. That's a safety, actually, one-on-one.
Third touchdown pass of the night for Luke Maffeo, the sophomore.
He's having some throwing night, huh?
That's right.
I mean, this is the way you really want to start your season.
110 yards through the air, and now 3 touchdowns passing for the sophomore Luke Maffeo, who will try to tack on the 2-point conversion. They haven't been able to do it through the first 2 touchdowns. We'll see if O'Brien can get it with their 3rd touchdown. Up by 10. This would put them up by 2 scores if they can get this 2-point conversion. Maffeo throws it over the head of Milton. So once again, Latin denying the Tigers that 2-point conversion.
I can see the pressure makes him throw it a little too high. But again, taking advantage of the botched punt by Latin. And the Wolfpack find themselves down 10 points.
It's been Latin who has been moving the ball, but the Tigers have been the one.
Part. I mean,
the Tigers have been the one taking advantage of the good field position.
Exactly. That's how the game turns. I mean, in the beginning of the second quarter, when O'Brien was stopped a couple of times, 3 and out, and the field changed, the field position changed in Latin's advantage. That's when they get the first score of the game. But since then, O'Brien's taken full advantage. They've had the last 3 scores.
Yoshi boots it to the 19-yard line. Here comes Brenzel on the return, and he's going to get wrapped up at the 33.
You see Brenzel trying to get any kind of a gap. Ends up running into the middle of that coverage by O'Brien. We'll see what Latin. I don't think they're going to exclusively go to the pass, but you're going to see a lot of passing for the rest of this quarter and the fourth quarter.
It seems like the Tigers have been keying on Curran since that first quarter. And now a bad shotgun snap. Vasquez just going to have to fall on it. Big time loss on that play for Boston Latin, and things just went from bad to worse.
Oh, definitely. That's a huge loss. Actually, it was a little off the side, but I think he was looking downfield, and
yeah, I think Vasquez,
he may have been just as guilty on that one.
Either that or they mixed up the snap count, and
the ball came back pretty quick. You see, still got Conley on that favorite right side.
Vasquez on the screen to Conley, and he makes his way up to the 23, so about a 10-yard pickup.
I was going to say, normally that's a good play, but after that first huge loss. Simple slant play by Conley. Again, on the cover, you get Francis.
It'll be a 2nd down and 20 after it was first, or make that a 3rd down and 20.
3rd down now. Yeah.
After it was 2nd and 30. They try to run the screen. Yeah. And nowhere to go.
Yeah.
That time for Conley.
It's really amazing how one play, especially a first down play, can just kill a drive. Because it basically changes the plays you wanted to call. Because on a normal situation, that slant to Conley on a first down play, would have been decent, give you 2nd and short.
Kern gets his punt blocked, and that takes a Tiger bounce. O'Brien's just got to get away from that. I don't even know why they're anywhere close to it, as Latin downs it at their own 42.
He's a sophomore. That's why.
Well, you can flip a coin. He's either a sophomore or senior.
He's actually played a good game, Grill. But you're right. Yeah, you got to get away from that, because football has bounced so strange. I mentioned that if O'Brien had scored the last time, they could really take control of the game. They're in excellent position right now. I mean, they're up 10 points. Defense is playing well.
And we should be
they can just kill some clock here. That'll really put a lot of pressure on the Latin Wolfpack.
Yeah, it should be towards the end of the 3rd quarter, as again, nowhere to go for Milton.
You gotta like the fact that they're giving Milton carries again. That time I'm not sure if the Wolfpack is reading the blocking that well, or they're reading the formation, but up the middle, they had one draw play and they had a 3rd and long. And I think they caught Latin in a pass coverage defense where O'Brien got a decent game. But other than that, it's been a lot of nothing, 1 yard, losses, things like that. But the passing has got them in the game, got them in the lead.
So 2nd and 13 now for the Tigers. They run the bubble screen to Lambright. Tim Lambright with a good cut, but he's wrapped up at the 39-yard line. Curran with the tackle for the Wolfpack. Make that the 38.
There's that slot receiver screen. Lambright trying to get something out of nothing because, again, you have Latton's been burned with the passing game so much. They're backing up at the snap of the ball, just trying to read where the receivers are going. I mean, Lambright's been such a major factor. This is probably a good time for O'Brien to go to another receiver. Or maybe just go back to Francis. That's the third quarter.
And that is going to do it for the third quarter here at O'Brien High School in Roxbury as the Tigers are on top of the Boston Latin Wolfpack, 13-8, 10-point lead. Thanks to that pass to Anthony Francis. We're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll the fourth quarter here at O'Brien High right after these words. Don't go away.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework.
He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Beautiful night here in Boston as we are at O'Brien High School in Roxbury for our Week 1 coverage of the 2018 Boston Public High School football season. Right now, the O'Brien Tigers lead the Boston Latin Wolfpack 18-8. Just before we get ready to start the fourth quarter, this is our upcoming game. Next week, we'll be over at White Stadium, as long as we don't get a hurricane. And it'll be on Friday night, 7 o'clock. Boston Latin again, this time playing the Latin Academy Dragons. Make sure you tune in live on Boston City TV. If you got Comcast Channel 24, RCN Channel 13. If you got Verizon, it's Channel 1962. So we got another game. We'll have the Wolfpack again next week. And right now they are trailing the O'Brien Tigers by 10. Tigers now with the football to start the fourth quarter. Maffeo, after the pump fake, has to get rid of it.
I'll tell you, we talked about the passing for O'Brien, and that's obviously been the difference in the game. But one small thing I like about Mateo, even as a young player, he has a decent feel for when he's about to get sacked. He's able to throw the ball away. I mean, one was close to intentional grounding earlier in the first half, but that one, he would have taken a big loss. But instead, he was able to just spin it out there close enough to a receiver to have no flag. So now it's fourth down, but it's fourth down without that huge loss.
Now in the punt, Yoshi off the side of his foot, so not a big gain there. As they'll mark him out at the 25. Just about a less than 20-yard punt there for Yoshi.
Well, this time, I mean, and because we know Vasquez has that arm, it's just a matter of Boston Latin. Are they going to convert? Are they going to be able to complete these plays? Because the speed and the defensive backfield for O'Brien right now is their major advantage.
Another bad snap there for the Wolfpack. Vasquez recovers, and it's picked off.
Good job.
Tim Lambright. Wow. No, he dropped the football. He dropped the football.
I think it was bouncing. Yeah, I think he was bobbling it.
And we got an injury down on the field, too. Was that Lambright or was that Milton? I couldn't tell. It is Tim Lambright. That didn't look pretty. He's really hurting down on the field. He kind of fell
he did
awkwardly. One ref said he did not. Maybe it was to stop the clock.
Hopefully it's just cramps. You see him giving them something to drink. You got to get better. He might be our player of the game. So
yeah, right. We want to interview him at the end of the night.
Yeah, we can't.
If they win.
Can't talk to him sitting on the grass.
Not sure if we can get a look at that last play. Wanted to see if he caught it.
Looks like they're stretching out a cramp. He comes all the way across from that safety position. It looks like he might have knocked legs with the receiver.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think
totally unintentional.
It's probably more of like a stinger than anything else.
He'll be okay. Deserve break. But again, to add to what he's done all game, he was in that prevent sort of center field position again. He read the play, came all the way across, was able to make that catch and get kicked in the leg at the same time.
So he did make the interception there after coming across the field. So the Tigers again after a turnover. With great field position, they hand off to Milton on first down and picks up a couple of yards.
More the same. This Wolfpack front is really keying on Milton. They've given him a tough time. I mean, yeah, he did break out for a couple of decent runs, but whenever he's trying to go between tackles, I mean, they're trying to take it. He's not that big a player. He's listed 155. I'm not even sure if he's that much.
So no pickup there on first down. Second down and 10 now for the Tigers. Trying to milk this 10-point lead over the Wolfpack. The handoff this time to Isaiah Pyram, who bounces off some tacklers. Still on his feet is Pyram up to the 29-yard line.
Yeah, a little more size in there. There's Pyram with that 180 pounds, able to bounce off a couple of would-be tacklers and get a good gain.
You see Coach Gadsden in his 10th season as the head coach of O'Brien High School. Done a nice job at O'Brien. They've been competitive pretty much every year he's been
during his time, I was going to say, even though they've been known a lot for offense, a lot of their offensive players also can play defense.
On third and short, they hand it off to Milton.
And he's trying to kill some clock here.
I think they did get the first down. Well, that's really close, actually. It might have been a yard short.
So we're talking about fourth and one. Yeah. Pyram, with the big fellow, come back in. He actually, on second down, got them into that third and short situation. So he may have earned himself another carry.
Yeah, Pyram, a senior this year, started at linebacker as a junior last season. Not a lot of offense for him a year ago, but
one of those players who tells the coach, "I'll play anywhere."
Right.
Just want to be on the field.
4th and 1 now for the Tigers.
There he is.
Give it to Pyram.
Yep.
More than enough for the first time. He fumbles the ball.
Goes the ball.
Duran comes up with the recovery mid-air. Duran now on the return down the sideline. And that is what was desperately needed for the Wolfpack.
Well, I tell you, talk about desperately, that might keep him in the game, because it looked to me like O'Brien was on their way to another score. There's Pyram, and again, had it one arm, had it slide out. Okay, good alert play that time by Duran, as he was able to get it out of the air and tack on a really nice return. So ball's going to go in the air again. Those birds up there better watch out.
Right.
He's got to be throwing it deep.
As long as Vasquez gets a good snap, that's been the trouble these past couple of possessions for the Wolfpack. This time they hand it off to Brenzel, and he's wrapped up in the backfield. Brooks again making a stop in the backfield. That's 4 tackles for loss for Michael Brooks.
And what's impressive about that is he's coming on a pass rush. He's able to, get him, break himself down to allow himself to make the one-on-one tackle. He was actually coming to put pressure on what he thought was going to be a pass situation.
They get it to Conley. It looked like it might have hit the turf. That's going to fall incomplete.
Yeah, really frustrating time for. Yeah, it did definitely hit the turf. Yeah. Talked about Mateo getting hit for O'Brien after each pass. That time, he had Vasquez take a hit.
And another high snap. That time Vasquez just couldn't hang on to it.
Yeah, that was on him. He's just trying to get into the play too quickly. You start to rush, you start to get ahead of yourself, and that's what we've seen with these snaps. Like you mentioned, the bad snaps and the punts, a couple of bad snaps to the quarterback, and then that time that was just Vasquez just trying to make something happen too quick. It's interesting. You talk about Pyram had that nice run, but then he fumbled it. He actually was the one who hit Vasquez in the previous play.
Another bad snap there for the Wolfpack, and Kern is able to get it away. And Francis fields it right around the 46-yard line. Francis still on his feet. Anthony Francis finally wrapped up at the 42.
I'd say that
14-yard
has some running backs between the sophomores and seniors. They have a nice
group
of running backs.
See Lambright back in there. Yeah, Francis is probably their best offensive player. He hasn't gotten the ball very much.
Watch this effort, though. He's going to cut back inside, runs through 2 arm tackles, spins, able to get himself working way back to the middle of the field. Nice for a 14-yard return on something that looked like it was maybe 2 or 3 yards.
First and 10 now from the 42 for the Tigers. They hand off to Milton again.
Yeah. I know Kevin Gatson, the head coach of O'Brien, is happy with this because he had a chance to talk to him for a minute before the game. And his major concern was what he considered the size differential between the two, in the line play. Because he knows that when he has a line advantage like that, he's going to run. He was concerned that Latin School would be able to get a lead and then just pound the ball, but that hasn't been the case. The passing game has kept O'Brien ahead.
We got an injured player down on the field for the Tigers, so while they tend to him, our sideline reporter Richard Damas has an update for us, and I think it's about some new technology for high school football here in the city. Richard, what do you have?
Hey, Pat. Interesting story. So Boston Latin, their Booster Foundation, they just funded enough money to purchase these concussion protection helmets that the players from Boston Latin wear over their helmets during practice. And since they've been wearing these helmets this season, they haven't had one concussion from any player wearing them. And so with that being said, Boston Latin, they're doing a lot to make sure to help their team prevent themselves from getting concussions. This isn't perfect, but it's a great first step towards helping the team prevent less collision damage and these players to be able to stay on the field. And with that, I'll send it back to you.
Thanks very much, Richard. Some new technology. The Latin Booster Club was able to purchase those pads for the helmets that they put over their helmets during practice. So, and Coach Butler even said we've had one concussion this year, and the player was not wearing one of those. So he said those things have been very effective. Last year we had several concussions. This year we've only had one. And he also said during, when it's really hot out, for whatever reason, that pad actually makes the helmet a little cooler. Because, the helmets are kind of shiny.
Creates some insulation.
Some kind of insulation that keeps the cool air in. So new technology that's certainly going to help football players as it continues to get developed. Meanwhile, on second down, it's Milton, who was unable to make the reception.
Yeah, that one was on Mateo. I mean, he had Milton open. It's a simple swing pass. He just threw it too far in front.
like Conley might have gotten at least a fingertip on it.
I mean, first game for both teams, and I think, as every season, both coaches will feel like there's good and bad. Obviously, for Latin, those bad snaps, 2 on punts and a few on the shotgun snaps, really put them sort of behind the 8 ball and basically gave field position for 2 touchdowns for Bryant.
Hand off to Milton on 3rd down, and he bounces out of a tackle. Milton now down the sideline and picks up the first down for O'Brien. So at first, Latin had him bottled up.
They had him wrapped up.
So the second effort for Milton. So that's the 11th carry for Milton.
Again. Okay, now he looks like, you said right there, looks like he is bottled up. They didn't wrap him up, though. And he used that speed to the sideline to get the first down, keep the clock running.
Yeah, Milton so far before that carry had 10 carries for just 7 total yards. So he hadn't been able to get anything going.
Most of them for losses.
Right.
You know, I mean, 1 yard loss here, 2 yard loss here, but that does add up.
Right, out of that 11th carry that he just had, only 3 of them have been for positive yards. But that one, the most important so far this game, gives the Tigers another first down. They continue to hang on to the football now at the Boston Latin 24-yard line, and they are in full control here late in the 4th quarter. Folks, if you want to follow us on social media, you can certainly go to our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/GameOfTheWeekBoston. A lot of good stuff up on our Facebook page, a lot of different information, videos, pictures. Make sure you like us on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. Week 1 of the BPS High School Football season here at O'Brien High School, and the Tigers have gotten off to a good start so far. They're hoping to cap this one off with a W as they have a 10-point lead over the Boston Latin Wolfpack.
And when you say good start, I mean, they've got to be happy that it's happened on both sides of the ball. I mean, obviously Lambright has been, and Mateo have been most of the offense, along with Francis, but the defense, knowing Kevin Gatson, I've known him for a lot of years, I think after this game, the way it's going right now, if they hold Latin to just the 8 points, that'll be his biggest takeaway. That'll be by far.
Here comes Milton out of the outside, and he's wrapped up by Conley. Milton does stay in bounds.
But a hold is going to be on O'Brien.
That's the last thing the Tigers want right now. Couldn't quite see where the hold was.
Yeah, it must have been behind the run. But the flag was actually thrown more to the middle of the field.
So they'll back the Tigers up 10 yards.
And then on the Latin side, like you mentioned, a couple minutes, we have them next week.
And as the Tigers, we face the 2nd down and 20. Our sideline reporter Richard Damas has got an update for us. Richard, what's happening?
Hey, Pat. So just now, that was Ted Ace, and earlier was Tim Lambright, who both went down with what appeared to be just cramps. You know, what we know about what we know about O'Brien is they haven't had much time to practice in the sun, so, you know, that was probably the cause of them just not being hydrated enough and just not being used to the weather. But both guys are fine, and they're both back playing on the field. So with that, I will send it right back over to you guys.
Thanks very much, Richard. It's good to see both players just having some cramps. As they give it to Milton one more time.
There's Milton. I mean, he's going to, the funny thing is he's going to feel like he was a workhorse because he's taking all these hits, had a decent amount of carries, but in terms of actual yard production, not a whole lot. But, you know, you're killing time. And that's at this point the most important thing for O'Brien Tigers. Now you talked about next week with Latin Academy in Boston Latin. Now Latin Academy, the past few seasons, a slightly more physical team than O'Brien, so a different type of matchup for the Wolfpack.
And they hand off to Milton again. As we mentioned before, the clock on the field is not, or rather the clock on the scoreboard is not the official time. The refs are keeping the clock down on the field. So I think there's probably almost a minute left in this game, if not more.
You know, Brian just wants to run the clock up. They just, so I just keep having simple handoffs to keep the time moving. Frustrating start for Boston Latin. I mean, they come in. We mentioned it before. They're from the Dual County Small League, so they're regular in terms of conference. Bedford, Concord, Carlisle, Newton South, and Wayland. Those are their. That's the sort of league they're in.
Tough schedule.
Right.
Tough schedule.
A lot of travel, but they've done it for a number of years.
Concord Carlisle, usually a big physical running team. Newton South in the past has been really good. Austin Burton used to play for Newton South. He's now out at UCLA. Wayland has always got a solid program. Bedford, we saw last year, beat Boston Latin pretty good in the middle of the season. So Tigers looking to salt this one away, and now Maffeo goes back to pass. And was that a fumble or an incomplete pass? Latin recovered it. That was one of those in-between passes. We'll see if it was poked out of the hand. They're going to call incomplete. It looked like his hand was moving forward. We'll see if we can get another look at it.
I'm just surprised you've been passing the ball.
Yeah, he was going forward. That's a nice shot from our cameraman, Alex Bergeron.
Good replay to catch that one because, but you're right, there was some forward motion, but it actually could have been called either way.
4th down and 22 now for the Tigers. And I think now
O'Brien had one of the plays come on late, so they want to make sure the punt coverage is going to be okay.
The last thing you want to do is give Latin any type of chance here late in the 4th quarter. Well, so far, you know, in the past, I don't think these teams have played each other in the regular season in a long time, if ever. And now this year, what they're trying to do is Latin Academy, O'Brien, and Boston Latin School, the 3 exam schools in the city of Boston, are trying to kind of put together this little rivalry where the 3 of them play each other every season. So next week, Latin School will be playing Latin Academy, and then a couple of weeks down the road, O'Brien and Latin Academy. They've kind of always played each other in the regular season. But now the 3 of them will constantly play each other in the regular season. A nice little sort of small tournament during the football season between these 3 city exam schools.
We talked about Boston Latin being in the Dual County Small, and for O'Brien, they're in the Boston North. And with the Latin Academy, who we'll see next week, Brighton, East Boston, Tech Boston, and West Roxbury. So they too will have a tough schedule.
Yoshi Howe able to corral the snap, and that punt's going to fly into the end zone for a touchback. So Boston Latin will get it back with a few seconds left here in the 4th quarter. Not exactly sure how many. Yeah, you mentioned the Boston North, and you know, the last couple of seasons, Brighton has controlled the City League for the most part. You know, especially with having those 2 big fellas on each end, Gerard Clark and Quincy Taylor. Now that those guys are gone, you know, not really sure what you're going to get out of Brighton this year.
Well, they're
going to be good.
Yeah, they had a couple of underclassmen, wide receivers, smallish type players, who have good speed and ability. But you're right. It's that's the challenge when you because let's not forget that not only did they have Taylor, the 2 ends like you mentioned, but they had him for 3 years. So you get used to him.
Right.
You know, you really get used to, okay, that part of us is set.
Sure.
On both sides of the football.
We're set at tight end and D end.
There you go.
Yep.
Exactly.
For 3, Gerard Clark, I think, played some as a freshman. You know,
you're right. That's right. That's true.
So they've had those 2 guys You know, the basketball team, too.
Bookends,
Brighton
right?
has had those two guys. Yeah, like you said, about for 3 years of varsity time for the two of them. And it's going to be a different look for Brighton this year.
Another fumble.
Another turnover for Boston Latin, and Curran loses it. And he doesn't want to get up off the turf after doing that.
They actually had a good run, too.
Yeah.
That just sort of bottles up the frustration for Boston Latin today. Coming from behind again. That was Brooks.
Michael Brooks has had a hell of a game defensively. My goodness.
All over the field. And I like how they used him. I mean, in some cases he was coming on blitzes. Other times he was just coming on regular pass defense. Sometimes he would drop into coverage. That time he chased the play down and knocked the ball away.
We're getting word that there's about 2 minutes left in the ball game right now, as the referees keep the clock down on the field. There's still some time left. I think what Latin would need is probably a turnover and maybe a turnover return for a touchdown.
I was going to say, a turnover that turns into a touchdown.
This time Pyram bottled up as he shoots forward for about a yard or so.
That'll be hard to do because we're not. I'm sure we're not going to see any more pass attempts from O'Brien.
After that last one, that looked like it almost was a fumble. You would think they would just run with it. There you see Pyram fighting for yardage at the end of the play. Latin just called a timeout to stop the clock.
I think the O'Brien players coming into the game knowing that physically they're the smaller team, they've got to feel good about each other. I mean, they haven't done a whole lot in terms of getting some movement for their running game, interior running game, but they got a couple of nice runs to the outside. They got some screen pass action going. Of course, the plays by Lambright were fantastic. So overall, he's always talking about team effort. Okay, if something's not working, okay, another area of our team will pick us up, and that's exactly what O'Brien did today. I'm more surprised that Latin didn't score more. I really thought that Boston Latin was going to score more points.
They hand off to Pyram again. Pyram still fighting for yardage again. Looks like he almost lost the football there. I think they whistled him down. That might have popped out. And now we got an injured.
Yeah, the ball did come out late, yeah.
Curran got up, okay. Yeah, I mean, with the way that Latin moves the ball, you have Vasquez who, started all last season as a quarterback, played a little bit as a sophomore, too, in mop-up duty. Now comes back as a senior after a full year under his belt.
Looking forward to a great start.
No question. Yeah. And you got Coach Butler, who's now in his third season as the head coach at Latin. His system is now implemented with a lot of these players. The seniors on this Latin team were sophomores when Ray Butler first got there. So they've been under his program now in the third season. So, and you can see them.
Yeah. The expectations are definitely there. There's no doubt about that. And
you can see
parts
of
the weapons.
Yeah,
they have the weapons. Look at Conley, get Curran. You mentioned Vasquez with his arm.
I mean,
it's
the biggest things that hurt them were those high snaps on the punts.
Oh, those are killers.
And a couple of high snaps out of the shotgun formation.
Because even though they aren't officially turnovers, anytime you from a punt formation, if you're punting from your 30, but you end up giving the opposition the ball at the 20, it's like a turnover.
It's worse than a turnover, because they gave O'Brien better field position than
what O'Brien had earned.
Than if Vasquez even threw an interception. I mean, those were back-breaking plays for the Wolfpack. Give it to a new running back here on second down.
That's one of the linemen.
That's right. That's Grell.
Yeah.
Omi Grell getting the carry. Well, in the roster,
he is listed as an offensive lineman,
running back, and a defensive lineman. That's high school football for you.
And now he's making that distinction official.
Well, if he wants more carries, one thing you can say to Coach Gadsden is, Coach, the ball didn't get stripped.
Exactly. And I didn't get knocked down either.
Yeah.
So O'Brien, I mean, this could be an interesting start for them, because when you think about it, the next week they're gonna have Madison Park. All right, they're partners right here at the complex.
Right. A battle of the complex. Whenever those two schools face off.
Not sure if they're trying to let this run out or if they. Well. So you look at the work that Latin has to get ready for next week. You know, Latin Academy. Well, at White Dam, that'll be like a home game for both of them, because
right.
Latin plays their home games up there. And Latin Academy also is used to playing up there a lot. So that'll probably be familiar. It'll just be a matter of, again, beginning of the season, some younger players that you're trying to incorporate into your system. Your returning players, you're hoping that they're able to get themselves off to a good start.
I actually believe that game next week is a home game for Latin School. Not positive, but that could be a home game for Boston Latin School. Latin Academy would be away. Because those two teams actually played each other last year for the first time, I think, ever. And I believe Latin Academy was the home team.
Oh, okay.
So I think they're switching this season. The conference continues down on the field.
I have no idea what that's
not
about.
a lot going on. I mean, it's just
right.
straight handoffs right now.
I actually thought the time was going to run out, but I can't imagine what this long a conference could be for.
Neither can Ray Butler, as he's looking at those referees saying, what the heck's going on here?
Let me get out of here so I can yell at my guys.
Right.
Right.
Let's get out of here so we can go back to Latin and have a practice after this
There you go.
game.
Practice, yeah. Forget the pizza.
Right.
No, Friday night, got to have pizza. It's Friday night. Friday night game, got to have
right.
pizza afterwards.
First week of school.
Yeah.
They were trying to figure out the down. I think that there was some confusion as to what down it was. We had it right on our scoreboard.
So it is fourth down.
It is fourth down.
Yeah, hand it off to Grill again, and we'll live with that.
Grill does get it again.
There you go.
We got a lineman down there for Boston Latin. He was able to bounce back up. I think that was Yoshi Howe.
Grill?
No, that was LaRon Taylor, excuse me.
First time we've seen Grill between an offensive lineman, offensive and defensive lineman, also a running back. But it's nice to have versatility, because now he's going back in as a defensive lineman. So we got some happy O'Brien students and fans and family members and friends, because you're never sure what to expect in the first game of a season.
That's right. That's right. It's only a couple days of school, although there's probably not a lot of homework right now, so all the kids are like, yeah, I'll go to a football game.
Sure.
Why not? See Vasquez rolling to his right, and Duran is unable to make the catch. You're right. I mean, you're right, Alan. The pieces are there for Boston Latin School, and they, there were so many good plays made by this team throughout this game too, especially in the first half.
They had those drives and got nothing out of them. They had
8 points.
They had two good drives. They got inside the 25-yard line of O'Brien. Got nothing out of it. Even though, like I said, they did actually score the first points of the game.
And that's picked off by Francis. Anthony Francis going to try to bring it back himself. Slips a couple tackles. Francis now back up the middle. Anthony Francis for a touchdown.
That's the athlete we talked about in the open. We started the game talking about him. That's his second touchdown of the game. That's an amazing way to end things here. Obviously, deep coverage. Sheds 2-3 tacklers there. Now uses that speed, even though he's carrying 200 pounds, still able to get himself into the end zone.
Anthony had 2 interceptions for touchdowns a season ago. And he's halfway there already with that pick 6 for the Tigers.
That's going to be the game.
And that is going to do it here from Bryant High. So the Tigers tacking another one at the end. They go on to defeat the Boston Latin Wolfpack 24-8 here in week 1 of the 2018 BPS High School Football season. And a heck of an effort here from O'Brien. I mean, after that first score from Boston Latin, you kind of thought, okay, Latin's got their offense going, and the Tigers haven't been able to move the ball at all.
That's exactly that's what I was thinking. You're absolutely right. We were talking about it. Because not only did Latin score first, but like we said, they had a couple of other drives that they didn't convert, but you just had the feel that they were controlling field position, they were controlling the line of scrimmage a bit, but once those miscues started happening, and then that allowed O'Brien to get into their passing game, mainly with Lambright, those first 2 touchdowns, everything really turned around.
No question, and it's certainly been a heck of a game. So a heck of a second half for the Tigers as they go on to defeat Boston Latin 24-8. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we will have our Game of the Week MVP, our final stats, and here in week 1 of the 2018 BPS High School Football season. Folks, make sure you stick around.
Foster safety. Foster hope. Foster joy. Foster curiosity. Foster support. Become a foster parent, because every parent makes a difference. Foster, Massachusetts.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be?
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
First time I tried Vicodin, and it was laying around my mom's house. And then I kept taking them whenever I could get them. I didn't know they'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more. Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Do you want to retire like a champ? Just like legendary basketball star Uncle Drew?
Don't do it like that, Uncle Drew!
You're already acing the game. You've got your dream ride.
Don't be slamming my door.
Sorry about that.
You just did the same.
Gotta get the boys. Your dream vacation and your dream team. And now you can make your retirement just as legendary.
I get buckets.
Get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Queen is just my everything.
His smile did it. His smile, his eyes, his knowledge. My landlord, he decided that he wanted me to move based on the fact that I was transgender. let's just respect people in everyday life for just being human.
No doubt you're going places, young lady.
Thank you. And thank you for the interview as well. I can imagine it was the last thing that you wanted to do after such a long campaign meeting.
You really are a very intelligent young woman. You're very smooth.
You're very smooth yourself.
You have no idea.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No. He's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation.
We can.
Get someone a cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates. Our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can. Intervene. It's on us.
All of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education, what are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else? Or will you dare do something different? Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills. The smarts? Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget. That'd be cool. Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself? What are you gonna make of me?
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Go, okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
Welcome back to O'Brien High School in Roxbury. At the conclusion of Game of the Week, the O'Brien Tigers take down the Boston Latin Wolfpack here in Week 1, 24-8. And, you know, after that first score from Boston Latin, like we were saying, it seemed like Latin had all the momentum in the world. And then all of a sudden, O'Brien comes back, and that first touchdown pass to Tim Lambright seemed to be a backbreaker for Latin. I mean, they just kind of never recovered.
It was almost like
both
a
sides
shock.
of the ball.
You're right, absolutely right, because he made an amazing adjustment on the ball. It was a tough one for Latin because they had decent coverage. I thought the quarterback just sort of threw it up there, hoping that Lambright would make a play, which is exactly what he did. Made an adjustment, cut the ball, split two defenders, and scored the touchdown with his speed. And you're right, that's just it's almost like the coin flipped, and the game just changed from there, and O'Brien was in charge.
Yeah, no question. That first touchdown, a big one for Lambright. The second one put them ahead. He had a phenomenal game for the Tigers. He is our MVP tonight. He and Coach Gadsden are with our sideline reporter, Richard Damas. Richard, take it away.
Hey, Pat. I'm here with the MVP of tonight's game, Tim Lambright. Tim, 2 touchdowns, another touchdown. That was a turned on defense. How'd you have that kind of game tonight?
Just working all week, working in the summer. I couldn't do it on my teammates tonight. My quarterback throwing me the ball, my lineman blocking for the quarterback to be able to give me the ball. So it was just a lot of hard work put in this week.
What did you see out there? You know, just particularly on the 2 touchdowns, like one of them, they just looked like you just got deep on the first 2, and the last one was just like you just ball hawked it. Like just be able to put that kind of performance together with just 3 days of practice time, like.
Yeah. Well, some of the balls were underthrown, so I knew that I had to come back to the ball. So just being able to track the ball, come back and catch it was the main thing for me.
Congratulations, Tim, and good luck to you in the next game as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Coach, 3 days to put together a game plan for tonight's game, and you guys still came out with the win. How did you do that?
Perseverance. The kids really worked hard and overcame a lot of obstacles. As you know, all over the country was really hot last week to deal with the weather and practice and stuff like that. So we just did the best we could and to get them prepared for this game.
And talk to me about the performance that you saw from Tim tonight. Just what allowed him to have that type of game on offense and defense?
Well, football is a team sport, but a lot of times you have individual players that have to make plays. And Tim is a 3-sport athlete. He plays basketball, football, and he runs track. So he's going to be able to use his ability to do some things that maybe some other guys can't. So we kind of rely on that, and the good Lord helped us out today, and he was able to be successful.
Absolutely. Congratulations on the win tonight, Coach, and we'll be seeing you around soon.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. You do a great job.
Thank you, Pat, and I'll send it back over to you guys.
Richard, thanks very much. And Tim Lambright, certainly you talk about the adjustments that he made on those 2 passes. I mean, the passes were thrown short. He was sort of covered, but then he was just a little bit quicker to adjust the ball than everybody else.
It's interesting that he even mentioned that, especially on the first one. He said you could see that it was short, so he made the adjustment, stopped, came back for the ball, then had the speed to split the 2 safeties. So an amazing athletic player. And that's the point that head coach Kevin Gadsden made. A 3-sport athlete.
Right.
Probably his best skill is his speed and quickness, which on the football field is going to be a major advantage. He's been around a few years. He knows exactly what's expected of him. And your point's right. Even though it was 1 touchdown, the first one, it changed everything. I think even for the young players for O'Brien, it proved to them, even though we're getting sort of knocked around here and our defense isn't really stopping Latin School, we got Timmy who makes a play like that. We're in the game.
Right.
The whole place. That was when I noticed how big the crowd was.
Right, because the whole place erupted.
Exactly. It was like that one play. Everything just went up in the air, changed. They couldn't get the conversion, but it didn't matter because a few minutes later, the exact same thing happens again. And Lambright's able to make an adjustment, make another touchdown. And I think from then you had a deflated Latin team, you had an elated O'Brien team, and I think a lot of the sophomores then for O'Brien started to say, well, look, we got our seniors doing their job, we got to do our part.
That's right, and seemed to carry on down the line. Tim Lambright, certainly a game breaker for this O'Brien Tigers football team. Let's take a look at the final stats here from O'Brien High before we sign off. And first up, going to be the Boston Latin Wolfpack.
Latin, I mean, they're going to look at these stats and be very frustrated. And McCurran, 32 yards, 7 carries. Brenzel had 28 yards with 7 carries. They had Conley had the 1 touchdown. He had 74 yards with 5 catches. Duran, who was in and out of the game a lot, did have six catches also. Vasquez, quite frankly, for him, I know it's going to be a disappointing game because not only did he throw 2 interceptions, but he had some situations where he had trouble with the shotgun snap. A couple of them were the fault of the snap. But later in the game, it looked like, when we saw him on replay, it seemed like he just lost some concentration, had the ball slip through his hands, and as your quarterback leader, you just can't have that happen.
That's right. Let's take a look at the O'Brien final stats.
Well, O'Brien, we have Milton, a good job up front. With taking a pounding because ended up with 18 yards and 15 carries. Pyram came in the last fourth quarter, got a few carries. Lambright, our player of the game, of course, 2 touchdowns on 77 yards with 3 catches. Francis, also a good game, had a touchdown, 2 catches for 38 yards. And Maffeo, like we said, he had the 3 touchdown throws, but overall, I really think his receivers helped him out a lot today.
No question.
Because he did have some underthrown balls. I mean, first game of the season.
Sure.
Had some underthrown balls, had some stuff a little off target, but his teammates were able to come back for balls or prevent interceptions from happening, and that's all part of developing as a team, especially in the first game of the season.
No
Try to
question.
get off to a good start. That's what O'Brien did. I mean, I'll tell you, next week it's interesting because it just happens that we have Latin again. I really am going to be interested to see how Latin bounces back.
How they respond.
Because first of all, they're going to be embarrassed by only scoring the 8 points. Okay, they don't feel good about giving up 24 points, and they, like you said, they controlled the line of scrimmage in the beginning of the game, but really didn't cash in.
That's right.
So next week, Latin Academy can be physical. So they
usually are.
Exactly.
So you got those big linemen.
That could be an interesting game next week.
No question. We'll be looking forward to that one as we wrap up this one here tonight. Folks, if you want to watch this game again, you can certainly go to our website, www.cityofboston.gov/game of the week. All the games are up on our website, and this one will be as well. You can go to our Facebook page, Facebook.com/Game of the Week Boston. Our link to the game will be up there as well. You can also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. We'll be at White Stadium next week, pending the weather. It should be okay. And we'll be covering a lot of games as we roll on here on Friday Night Football here in the city of Boston here on Game of the Week. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.